Hi, this is your weekly wrap up for Friday, January 31st, 2025. Thanks for being here. If you're new to the channel, please do like, subscribe, and share as it helps others gain in the knowledge you're being afforded. So starting right off the top, we start with this week's shows. We had the one and only Bill Holter. We had a new guest, Colin Plume, who is the CEO of Noble Gold and one of our key sponsors that makes this channel run. Chris and I going over a monthly channel update on both the status of the silver limited edition coins, the currency orders, as well as other channel related updates. Next week, we have for the first week of February, the one and only Mr. Derek Johnson. Always look forward to getting his deep and cogent insights. Good friend Nick Veniamin, Ian Farrar, Amy Venner, and Dave Sandoval, who are co-owners of Purium, the health company that we subscribe to and have had great success. And good friend Joe Williams. Well, he's one of our team members, as some of you know. Look forward to getting his insights on all things geopolitical and financial. Now, here's the headlines. Among the flurry of executive orders since his January 20th inauguration, President Trump has taken aim at rooting out diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI programs, within the federal government. But his efforts to go beyond DEI, with one recent order rescinding a civil rights era rule that has helped protect millions of workers from discrimination. President Trump's January 21st order ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunities revokes the Equal Employment Opportunity Rule signed by President Johnson in 1965. According to the rule, federal contractors who today employ 3.7 million people cannot discriminate against job applicants or workers on the basis of race, gender, or any other protected characteristics. At least 60 Veteran Affairs employees have been placed on administrative leave following the closure of DEI across the department as part of a governmental-wide crackdown. In a statement to Military Times, Virginia officials said that all department DEI offices are permanently closed and the workers were on leave solely focused on those inclusion policy efforts. They did not provide any additional information as to when a decision would be made in terms of reassigning or firing said workers. Enrique Tarrio, the former leader of the Proud Boys, speaks with members of the media as he walks through Miami International Airport on January 22nd of this year. President Trump pardoned Tarrio, who is serving a 22-year prison sentence for seditious conspiracy, along with more than 1,500 people charged with alleged crimes related to January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. A federal grand jury charged 7 people with running a multi-state conspiracy attempting to defraud the U.S. for more than $600 million by filing more than 8,000 false tax returns claimed during COVID-19 employment tax credits. The indictment, unsealed in Central Islip, New York, said the suspects took advantage of a tax credit program passed by Congress in order to encourage employers to keep employees on their payrolls during the pandemic. It also paid workers on sick leave or family leave because of the pandemic. President Trump has issued pardon for nearly 20 pro-life activists convicted under the FACE Act for obstructing abortion clinic access. Among them was 33-year-old mother Beverly Beauty Williams, who was sentenced to over 3 years for blocking a clinic's entrance and allegedly injuring a worker's hand during a protest. Critics of the sentencing argue it was excessively harsh given the nature of the offenses. Williams had been preaching and praying outside the clinic, and her actions were cited as violating federal protections for clinic access. As the State Department enacted a one flag policy, any U.S. embassy or overseas mission cannot fly the Pride or Black Lives Matter flag, according to the Washington Free Beacon. This means that only 3 flags that are not the stars and stripes of the U.S. national flag are permitted to be flown. These are prisoner of war, missing in action, and the hostage of wrongful detainee flags. Beacon also reported starting immediately that only the U.S. flag of America flag is authorized to being flown or displayed on U.S. facilities, both domestic and abroad, and featured in the U.S. government content. The order was unanimously confirmed by the Senate on January 20th in a 99-0 vote. Parents enrolling children in Oklahoma public schools would be required to provide proof of their child's U.S. citizenship or legal immigration status under a proposal aimed at helping President Trump's immigration policies. The proposed rules, which Oklahoma's Education Board was set to vote on Tuesday, are in the early stages and would still need approval from lawmakers as well as the government in order to take effect. The proposal from Republican State Superintendent Ryan Walters, the state's education chief, would not prohibit students without legal status from attending schools, but would require districts to keep a tally. Officials with Veterans Affairs announced on Monday that the department had completed the initial implementation of President Trump's executive order in order to end DEI programs, putting 60 employees on leave. The move comes a week after the President Trump's administration ordered all DEI federal employees to be placed on leave. President Trump has promoted ending DEI initiatives and programs at both the federal level and overall. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem will be the new Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, the third of President Trump's nominees who are now confirmed. Noem earned the requisite number of votes from senators Saturday, was confirmed with a vote by 59 to 34 of a margin. Former Senator Marco Rubio, Florida, was also recently confirmed to be Secretary of State, a unanimous vote on Monday, as well as former Fox host, confirmed Secretary of State by 51 to 50 vote Friday night, with Vice President J.D. Vance casting the tie-breaking vote. The Justice Department announced on Friday that a healthcare company and its CEO pleaded guilty to one count of fraud and one count of tax conspiracy. KBWB Operations LLC and its CEO, Kevin Breslin of Hoboken, New Jersey, entered guilty pleas to the single count of healthcare fraud and one count of tax conspiracy related to the operation of numerous skilled nursing facilities. NBC News became the latest news outlet to make cuts, laying off about 40 staffers. The roles are scattered, and people are being encouraged to apply for other roles, mostly in digital TV news. The viewership has declined as audiences seek out news on social media as well as other streaming and podcasting platforms. NBC News became the latest news organization to make staff cuts this month. The network cut about 40 roles, or roughly 2 to 3% of the company, as it shifts its focus to growth areas. Tiffany Henyard, the scandal-plagued mayor of Dolton, Illinois, has reportedly been found in contempt of court after allegedly stonewalling liquor licenses for months. The owners of St. Patrick's, a 3-story restaurant and banquet hall on Lincoln Avenue, sued in August, claiming the mayor had repeatedly promised to sign liquor licenses, which were already approved by the Village Board of Trustees, but did not do so. An urgent recall for Lay's potato chips has been escalated to the highest level for containing a potentially deadly agent. The FDA revealed that bags of 13-ounce Lay's classic potato chips distributed in Oregon and Washington could contain undeclared milk. Around 4.9 million Americans suffer from milk allergies, and it is one of the most common food allergies within children. Symptoms of milk allergies range from mild to severe and can include wheezing, vomiting, hives, as well as digestive problems. In severe cases, the condition can also cause anaphylaxis, which is a life-threatening reaction that narrows the airways and can block breathing. According to the Gateway Pundit, President Trump's administration ordered sweeping freeze on all federal grants and loans took effect this week. This initiative reflects President Trump's unwavering commitment to fiscal responsibility, as well as his dedication to elimination of wasteful spending. Well, it's official. After 125 years, one of the oldest restaurants in the U.S. has officially closed for good. In a Facebook post, Tennessee's oldest restaurant, City Cafe in Murfreesboro, announced that it would shut down due to economic struggles. According to the ownership, we have tried so hard to stay ahead, but when you have more going out than coming in, it catches up with you, according to Rusty and Cindy Perkins, the establishment's longtime owners. I'm sure that you have your own opinions and ideas and comments about it, but please keep us in prayer. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem also joined an immigration enforcement raid in New York City on Tuesday and saw Immigration Customs and Enforcement, known as ICE, nabbing dirt bags within the sanctuary city. Just now, enforcement operations within New York City, criminal aliens with kidnapping, assault, and burglary charges are now in custody, thanks to ICE, Noem said on her post on X, alongside a video of said arrests. Dirt bags like this will continue to be removed from our streets. New York City residents also praise ICE raids after violent gang members are captured. Immigration officials have been busy this week removing criminal legal aliens off of New York City streets, with many residents hailing the sweeps as making the Big Apple a safer place to live. A member of the violent Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, which has also gained a foothold in New York City as well as other cities, was among those scooped up on the raids on Tuesday. ICE officials have rounded up more than 5,500 criminal aliens in less than a week, notching an early milestone in President Trump's promised clampdown on illegal immigration. The arrests were the results of scores of coordinated raids around the country, which saw some of the very worst and violent offenders clapped in irons after freely roaming the country under the Biden administration. The Federal Reserve is expected paused interest rates, an announcement by Fed Chair Jerome Powell on Wednesday. The Fed wants to study inflation and jobs data in order to gain more clarity on the economic impact of President Trump's policies before deciding on whether or not to cut rates again. It is important to note that there's no Fed meeting scheduled for the month of February. The next one is slated for March 19th. Microsoft is down across the U.S. as reporters issue services down with 365 services. Down Detector, a website that tracks online outages, shows major problems within the website, Outlook, and logging into accounts. Issues hit Microsoft 365 services around 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Microsoft 365 is a cloud-based subscription service that provides access to productivity apps, cloud storages, as well as security. Finally, President Trump announced Wednesday that he plans to issue an executive order for a massive new facility at Guantanamo Bay to hold deported, undocumented illegal aliens. The order will instruct the Department of Defense and Homeland Security to create a migrant facility that hosts up to 30,000 people, suspects of being guilty in U.S. illegally. And now for the real time, or I should say at the time of this broadcast, the most up-to-date prices for precious metals and Brent crude. As of the time of this broadcast, gold is up to an historic all-time high, $2,805.20. Silver up at $32.49. Brent crude slightly down at $76.87. Now for the resignations for the week. Top DI official at the University of Wisconsin-Madison is leaving his role after a financial review found areas of concern about financial operations and fiscal judgments in the division. LeVar Charleston left his position as Vice Chancellor of DEI of Educational Achievement at the University of Madison, Wisconsin on Wednesday. Michigan Senator Gary Peters, who led the Democrat Senate campaign efforts in the past two election cycles, has announced he will not seek a third term in 2026, creating a hotly contested battleground seat expected to be coveted by both parties. The 66-year-old's unexpected decision Tuesday to step aside after just two terms comes as a surprise and poses a challenge for Democrats in Michigan during a turbulent period, likely dividing their strong bench between the gubernatorial and Senate race for 2026. United Healthcare announced a new CEO on Thursday, filling in the spot after Brian Thompson was shot and killed in Midtown Manhattan in a targeted attack. Company veteran Tim Noel is the new United Healthcare CEO, the company said in an emailed statement. Noel has been the head of the company's Medicare and Retirement Division. According to the company's website, he joined United Healthcare in 2007 and previously was involved in financial restructuring at Northwest Airlines during its bankruptcy proceedings. The sexual misconduct allegations leveled against Japanese celebrity and former pop star Masahiro Nakai have led to the resignations of two top executives at the Fuji Media Group. The group's chair, Shuji Kano, and television unit head Kaiichi Minato stepped down amid mounting public and investor backlash against the broadcaster. The allegations, which surfaced in Japanese tabloids last month, accused Mr. Nakai, who's 52, of sexually assaulting a woman during an event organized by a Fuji TV executive some years ago. Mr. Nakai, a former member of the legendary boy band SMAP and a household name in Japan, has apologized for causing trouble as it announced his retirement from show business. The resignations of both Mr. Kano and Mr. Minato, announced on Monday, came amid calls for accountability within Fuji Media. Kenju Shimizu, an executive at Fuji TV, was named the new president of the broadcaster's television division. And that wraps up the weekly resignations. As you know, we've made a shift on our weekly wrap up for the notable deaths. We have now turned that over to legacy.com, who is expertly adept at handling this, and we will attach their latest weekly notable death announcements, complete with bios and pictures of each person that attaches to this weekly wrap up every Friday. Moving along to the weekly commentary, as we end the first month of this year and this exciting year, we get a sense of each beginning of the year as to how the year will go. Well, based on this month's activities thus far, I think it's clear and safe to say that 2025 promises to be both an exciting, fast-paced, frenetic, and action-packed one. The best is not yet to come. The best has already begun. And we'd like to quote 2 Timothy 2:7, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline." Now, that wraps the weekly wrap-up for this week, the last week of the month, going into February. As always, breaking news as it comes out and we can confirm it, we will report that to you summarily. For now, take care. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for the support. God bless. Bye for now.